Super Mario Party Jamboree is a sequel to an already existing Mario Party that people just tend to just overhate and choose the more superior one because most of them grew up with the much older titles that people grew up and they're complete veterans and give no praise to this specific Mario Party because of how different it is in terms of the boards it provides. But hey, welcome to the video. And today, I know there's probably still wondering and asking, or not really, in terms of the pool party minigames that I said I was still going to do. But hey, welcome. And I know it's been about a year since I've done an actual video game discussion before, since the Just Dance prediction videos don't exactly count, and I did a whole Just Dance review on it, which eventually there'll be probably one for 25 soon, but that may have to wait in like the longest development time. And then there's some other ones, but then today I just want to go over some predictions for Super Mario Party Jamboree on what could change, because I actually love Super Mario Party. In fact, as a matter of fact, I might even like this over Superstars, because as someone who's never grew up with the Mario Party series and I never played any of the older titles that Hudson Soft created, Super Mario Party felt like a more interesting one for beginners. Today, I want to go over some specific predictions in terms of character roster, maybe some specific modes and boards, either mostly returning boards or something, because the new boards are great. The new boards are awesome. They really have changed from the previous title, from what they did. But we're going to start off scratch in terms of the roster, and that roster being, as we already know, we just got in a trailer of how many characters are right now. Most of everyone from Super Mario Party is almost returning, except a few, but we're getting some new characters like Ninja, Spike, and maybe Boom Boom, and we also get Toad and Toadette returning as well, as a matter of fact. But I think in terms of other things, we might be getting, the fact that the roster could probably be a little bit bigger than Super Mario Party's roster with like some of the 30 characters possibly. Maybe we can have some new Mario enemies as playable characters. Somewhere around the ability that's like, somewhere like, maybe have a Sniffy as a playable character, or any of the Thwoms, maybe a playable Piranha, or maybe even maybe Kamek, although Kamek as the host wouldn't make sense. Charging Chuck, though, would be very interesting of a character. Same thing for maybe an alternate Goomba, and maybe some of the other Boo characters or Bob-ombs, but they wouldn't make interesting ones as well. And maybe most I see happening is maybe have some of the NPC characters from different kingdoms of Mario Odyssey, like the Bonnetiers, the Toasteranians, the Luck Ladies, the New Donkers, the Chivarians, the Bubbalands, some members of the Donkey Kong family, because aside from Donkey Kong and Diddy Kong already appearing in some of the franchises, we haven't seen any of the other DK characters make it into a Mario Party roster. So I think this could be an opportunity where we see either Dixie, Cranky, Funky, K. Rool, a bunch of other DK characters that could maybe get into the Mario Party roster. And I think maybe they could try, I don't know if this is going to work, but maybe have the baby characters, Baby Mario, Baby Luigi, Baby Peach, Daisy, and Rosalina, because they were already playable in Mario Kart, so why not have them as playable characters for Mario Party? It could work. I believe they've done this, but I think it was scrapped of an idea. But it could work. I could see possibly and maybe 2 representatives for Luigi's Mansion. One of them, of course, being EGAT and Helgen Gravely from Luigi's Mansion 3 specifically. Now, I love the new boards for Super Mario Party Jamboree. Mega Wiggler's Tree Party, King Bowser's Keep, Rainbow Galleria, Goomba Lagoon, and Roll'em Raceway. They're really great boards for Super Mario Party Jamboree. I like the design of what they're going. This is basically, to me, improvements of the previous stages they made back in Super Mario Party, like Womp Domino Ruins, King Bob-omb's Powdering Mine, Kamek's Tantalizing Towers, and Mega Fruit Paradise, and gave this like a full massive upgrade and gave it, and there's like more spaces and more special abilities. The currency returns back to its normal formula of 20 coins equals a star. And I guess maybe only the 10 coins for a star would just be more of a half price deal, in a way, of what they're doing. Because I'm pretty sure the veterans didn't like the currency change when you purchased your stars, specifically. I don't see the understanding why they do this. But hey, in terms of returning boards, the veterans were very happy when we got Mario's Rainbow Castle from Mario Party 1 and Western Land from Mario Party 2, considering how many people have been wanting and desperate for some secret updates or DLC for Mario Party Superstars, even though the game honestly was not rushed. I think people thought it would be rushed, but it honestly wasn't. 2022 was the era of some rushed titles Nintendo created, but that's just a prime example. But hey, in terms of fan favorite returning boards, as the ones we saw from Superstars, like Yoshi's Tropical Island, Spaceland, Horrorland, Woody Woods, and Peach's Birthday Cake, why not feature, maybe there's a chance we could maybe see some other returning fan favorite boards from the N64 era. Now I'm sure people will probably want a Superstars 2, but it only focuses on the GameCube boards. That's saved for another video, as I think I do also enjoy Superstars 2, but Super Mario Party is the more superior topic of today's video. And on the idea, in terms of specific boards, I will only go over the ones from Mario Party 1 through Mario Party 3 specifically on their boards, on what I think could appear. And those would appear either Donkey Kong's Jungle Adventure, this could lead to some fun, and the boulder appearing, this could be like an improvement to Womp Domino Ruins, where the boulder comes in and it appears, and we could even maybe see Bowser around, and then it could, yeah, this basically would just act like Womino Dom Ruins, but improved in a way. Other ones from Mario Party 1, there's also Wario's Battle Canyon. It's considered the worst board in Mario Party 1, but what better way? It would be funny and toxic for content for YouTubers to play on this fascinating canyon board where you go from a random spot to the other random spot of an area. There's also Luigi's Engine Room. This is a fun and interesting one because this one gives you like different path choices, and because I know some older ones have already went through of how the board goes and which pipe you take or the direction you go by it, as it's like depending where the star is going to be at. And of course, you can, in terms of the last board for Mario Party 1, is Bowser's Magna Mountain. This is where things gets into pure accuracy and torment, where some of the blue spaces everywhere here could switch to red, possibly by any chance, and then this could be interesting. Maybe they could showcase when they cross the bridge, and then they could show like fire lava bubbles shooting out, and then the player gets pushed back to the spot they were already in, and some sort of way it could work like that. Moving on to Mario Party 2, there's also a chance where we could maybe see some returning boards appear from Mario Party 2 as well. Stuff like, for example, Pirate Land, Mystery Land, Bowser Land. I could see them going creative with this one. Aside from, we already know we have King Bowser's Keep, I think Bowser Land would also be a very fun and interesting board, as it goes like an improved carnival world where it shows bits of like the world Bowser, as I said, from the Mario Party video, where it takes inspiration from the world Bowser from 3D World. In a way, it could really work. Especially they can improve in terms of the parades and the Ferris wheel and so many other cool, interesting mini games, and the way how the amusement park could stand out from what it looked like back in the 64 type. And as for other ones like the Mystery Land, it goes with, they can improve in terms of the little areas that it's showcasing, in terms of what is displaying, in terms of the little fun little artifact Easter eggs and the pyramids and the destroyed airplane at the very front of the map of the board. And they even show even some of the bombs and some of the gates. It could really be so creative on how they can work with Mystery Land. And as for Pirate Land, yes, they could start off on a pirate ship. Maybe they could even showcase improved boards where they add new effects and new references, and it even shows some new ones because I'm pretty sure in Superstars they improved the boards by showcasing like new features and showing cute animations and all that are all displayed around the map of the board. And lastly, we move on to Mario Party 3's boards with only a few exceptions. One of them, of course, being Chilly Waters, where, of course, it could be the first ever somewhat snowboard, where, of course, it could show like a bit of showing the return of the penguins, a bit of the snowman returning, maybe in a brand new design from what you see in like the snowman land of like in the map. And then it could show major references around the board, and maybe they could showcase the ice lake, and the nice igloos, the forests, and the icy mountains as well. It could really be an improvement for what it is of what the map is, and maybe they could, of course, display, of course, the Koopa Bank and the item shops displayed as well. And maybe if they could return those special battle spaces, although they're probably versus spaces, but they act in a way that's great. And maybe they could even showcase a bit of other additional missing features that were in Mario Party 3 as an addition. Also, another returning board that could maybe return is Deep Bloopers C, where it shows like it's another underwater map board that basically could show the big massive. They could use the big purple cheep instead of this pufferfish, and they could have Gooper Blooper appear in this area, unlike just a regular massive blooper. And maybe they could even showcase some better cheap designs here, and they could show like again with the water volcanoes, and even showing new coral reefs and destroyed ships of what we see. Maybe one of them could even be some of the Odyssey ships, and even display, of course, the blue shark. They could like showcase like the blue shark from Mario 64, and they could show the actual eel from Mario 64 as well, along with some other additional underwater features, some of the jellyfish and seahorse, maybe even some of the new underwater enemies that we see from Odyssey that could even work. And of course other ones, that is of course Spiny Desert, which of course it could feature the two quicksands, and along you could even see camels in the background as appearing. Maybe they just appear as Yoshi. We could even see some of the birds, even some of the vultures from 64, along with the Spinies getting improvement. We could even see cactuses and some other related things from this map that is interesting. The gates will probably just feature the old skeleton key returning, and we see the Chomp Chomp, we see a bit of dinosaur skeletons, and we even see a bunch of parts of the thing that looks similar to Western Land, but just at a more better improvement of what it is. And of course, I think the last board from Mario Party 3 that I was thinking maybe is Waluigi Land, because I mean it's Waluigi, and it would be interesting to have his own board, because I think in Mario Party Superstars we saw Yoshi's Tropical Island and Princess Peach's Birthday Cake, and then in Super Mario Party Jamboree we saw Mario's Rainbow Castle. So why not have a theme focused around Waluigi with Waluigi Land, and it could just have a bunch of funny Waluigi cardboard cutouts, maybe have the nice Luigi statues, and even show a bit of references around the area because of how pure RNG the map is on specific areas around the board. And they could just improve on funny spaces and what they can offer around the area. And which, another thing that I think should be in Super Mario Party Jamboree is their story mode, or their single player mode campaigns, where they just feature a specific mode where you go on a solo adventure. And yet the massive downfall that was Superstars was that there was no single player campaign. There was mount mini games, but it doesn't exactly count as a single player campaign. But there's the thing, in Super Mario Party they already had a single player campaign called Challenge Road, or Challenger's Road specifically, and which I don't understand how the veterans are supposed to be grateful specifically on this statement, But this is when I start to realize that some Mario Party veterans and gamers as a whole are tend to be very ungrateful or not thankful for what they have on what they suggest, because first they need to touch grass. That's one thing. But the most important thing is always being thankful for what they have, because no matter how much stuff they have on display on their shelf, no matter how much stuff they displayed on their collections of what they post on social media or anything, but the thing is that we all need to be grateful for what we have, because as far as Nintendo is working their hardest, the employees who work there are putting like their best, every effort to put in every detail, Easter egg, and every reference that they put on every game they sell and make money out of. They're doing their best, at least for the most part. At least, you see, God wants us to be grateful for what we have. We want to be thankful for what they offer us. Because first of all, there is of course that one hole that we're missing that we just want to fill in, but it doesn't work. Anything we try to desire, it doesn't go. Take the rich young ruler, for example. When he encountered Jesus, for example, and he asked him, "What should I do to have eternal life?" And Jesus tells him that first off, to obey his commands. He knows that, but he wants more in depth on how to obtain this salvation, and he responds with, "Sell everything you have, and then you'll interpret treasures in heaven." This leads to the young ruler being sad, depressed, and he ended up dying later on. But this is the exact example I'm trying to point out. Sure, you could be a hardcore gamer all throughout the years, and you've been desperate. You could be that kind of player who sells everything, sells all the stuff they have for something else and get a totally new desire and something else. Because think of it this way, it's like when the disciples got rid of everything, they left their jobs, they left their families, they left everything they had to follow Jesus. But then the Lord will provide them with something in return later on. You could be that person, and then you could be the average gamer who sells everything, just start a new life and everything that they had to offer. But then a miracle could happen. You could get a random call out of nowhere, and you could get early access to something that is such a blessing, and you'll get something amazing in return, because God is so loving and he does things that we do not expect it to happen. Yes, I'm looking at you, Gate Zero. You actually are. Now sure, you could say Nintendo could be mean, they could be a jerk at sometimes, but at least they're putting the effort they're putting in. They're trying to be better than what Disney is trying to do, as though Disney is already failing at everything they're doing. Nintendo is trying to be better and improve from what they're doing. So let's all be thankful and grateful for what at least they're trying to do, at least for the most part. Which now then leads to the next category for this video, and that is the modes. And honestly, aside from the minigames, which we're getting like 110 of them, I think we can maybe address some secret additional modes that I think should return for Super Mario Party Jamboree. One of them, of course, being Partner Party, because it's a really fun mode as a 2v2 matchup, and it's random. And I feel like it should come back, because, it's Super Mario Party Jamboree. They have to return some of the modes that were already existing in Super Mario Party already from the start. Same thing would apply to River Survival, except it provides like new set of phases or different routes to take, and it's like more expandable. It could stay in its route, except it could have also a much easier difficulty for very beginners who want to start off small, while still also having like a much harder fog difficulty from what they show once you complete them all. It could be very interesting. Soundstage, I think, should also return, because the rhythm mode is just fun. It's interesting. It's like, it gives the Rhythm Heaven vibes in a way, but it works well. It's great. I love this idea where you can it even plays like specific tracks on whenever you play the mode in different shuffles, and it's really great. I think they should bring it back. And Now we already know that what Nintendo already offered. They're offering this interesting Mario Party marathon where 20 players run 5 laps or more around the board, and whoever makes it there wins. And it's a very interesting mode, and it's like sort of like a mini game rush mode, which I think it's going to work well. And there's also the additional, I guess, boss battle where they have to beat Bowser, and there's only like a few players that get this amount for a mini game or something. But it could work very well in that concept as well. I think they should, in terms of if they bring back the single player mode, they should at least try to maybe bring back some returning bosses or make new bosses if we get like a somewhat single player mode campaign where bosses are accessible in that matter in a way. And I think it could work perfectly in this new game that is Super Mario Party Jamboree. Lastly, and most and foremost, is customizations. In terms of what Mario Party Superstars already did with the custom player cards, where you customize of how you want to customize your player card in Super Mario Party Superstars, they could somewhat bring it back, and I think it could work really well, especially when it comes to level progression and the amount of coins you earn, the applause clapping, and the amount of things where you could maybe head to the secret shop where Toad could be offering you some additional a bunch of stuff like pages, music, stickers, all that kind of cool stuff from what they did in Superstars. I think they should fuse those elements together and have that progression. They could still go, maybe they might go a bit higher than level 99 in a way, and just like have it like expand to like maybe like about like maybe like 500 in a way. I think it could, as it's like, since the highest they went was like 99, maybe they could go by like 199 or somewhat higher ratings or something. I don't know. Maybe they can do something different. Maybe it doesn't have to be level progressions or something. It'd probably be different. In terms of options, I think they should really have the settings returned, and I think they should bring back the ability where you can change musics, because I think in Mario Party Superstars they did a really good job where you can change the music of the boards, and I think they're starting to do that more often with iconic game remakes like Super Mario RPG and Mario vs. Donkey Kong remake and Paper Mario The Thousand Year Door remake. They're starting to use this secret feature a lot with some of Nintendo's newest titles, and I think it should come back if Mario's Rainbow Castle and Western Land are returning as fan favorite boards. And I think they should also bring back the customization where you customize in terms of turns, bonus stars added, minigame help, handicap. All those features should be back. I mean, in the original Mario Party, you just had to go by the turn limit, and that's it. There was no addition in terms of bonus stars or minigame help or any sort of aspects. But I think this would be like a good attribute to actually use it and bring it back to Super Mario Party Jamboree, and I think this would be an improvement. Although it will still have somewhat similar attributes that is a little bit fused with Superstars, at least. They could even separate, like, in terms of the mini games, where it's like between family, action, skill. Now, I don't know if there will be any returning mini games from older Mario Party titles again, except because all the 100 wouldn't exactly return for like another time. But existing older Mario Party minigames that haven't gotten a remake or someone from that older title could make that older tribute somewhat in a way. And I think it would be interesting, although it may not happen, is an additional way to customize your boards. Because I feel like it could be interesting where you get to customize your own Mario Party board and people get to play. Although Project Party is existing, so already custom boards is a thing, but what if Nintendo actually created their own sort of Mario Party maker, and aside from other ones like a Smash Bros maker or a Mario Kart maker or 3D Mario maker or something? That's all just creative ideas that would probably all be saved for future videos, although Nintendo Land probably already did them, but that's just what I think, at least for the most part. In which that wraps up the video, at least for the most part. And don't worry, the fans who've been asking for the upcoming Mario Pool Party minigames video, there's probably going to be a big change to it from what I'm probably going to do. Because I know back from the older video I made when I said there would be like 95 minigames, well, because of Super Mario Party Jamboree's results, I may as well increase it a bit higher with 25 more additional minigames, wrapping up to a full 120 minigames in total. Now, it may take me a long time to come up with those 120 minigames. Maybe I could bring back older minigames from older titles, and maybe I might add some additional returning older Mario Party boards from that have this for the theme of Mario Pool Party as well. But who knows? But you'll probably have to wait like much sooner or somewhere throughout the year. I mean, it says by Super Mario Party Jamboree, they say over 110, so it might be 120, but who knows? As long as you guys are still watching and loving and supporting the channel as much as you can, liking and commenting and all that sort of thing. But hey, just make sure you all do that. Make sure you always subscribe to the channel so you never miss out on any future videos in all sorts of ways. And see you guys next time. God bless you and have a nice day.